Hare Krishna, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We continue reading from Caitanya Caritamrita, Adi Leela. We are on chapter 7. And text 120, we have been reading the purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and we'll continue reading the purport. Unfortunately, the Mayavad philosophy, misguiding people by claiming the living entity to be the Lord, has created havoc throughout the entire world and led almost everyone to godlessness. So the reason, we are the spirit souls. We are pure spirit soul, part and parcel of God. In our original position, we love God very much. We love Krishna very much. But somehow we had this desire to be God, to imitate him. And we got this envy that why is Krishna God? Now to fulfill this desire that even I want to be God, we are put here in the material world. So this desire to be God is there in each and everyone's heart. Some of us say it openly, some of us don't say it openly. But what happens is when we claim and we teach everyone and we build on this idea, yes, it's not wrong that you think you're God. Yes, you are God. When we do this, we encourage this wrong desire in others and in ourselves. That is what creates havoc in people's spiritual life. Because we get this human form of life with great difficulty. After passing 8 million species, then only 400,000 species are human beings. So out of great difficulty, we get this human life. And the reason we are in the material world, the fault why we are here in the material world, because we had the desire to be God and to imitate God and envy of God. Now, suddenly we get, by some good fortune, we get this human life. Now, without getting the understanding that, oh, this desire that you have to be God, this desire to imitate God, this envy of God, this desire that you have is a wrong desire, please give up this desire and instead try to understand that you have love of God and you go back to God's kingdom. Now, instead of being given this, if we are taught, yes, you continue thinking you're God, then this is the greatest disservice that we can do. Why? Because if I continue thinking I'm God, then I will continue my material existence. I'm finally getting a window to put an end to my material existence, be situated in my original position as pure spirit souls, eternal servants of God. But if I'm encouraged to think, yes, continue thinking you're God, continue thinking that today you're not God, but after you get liberation, you will become God. This is what is the fault. This is what is the fault. And this is what creates havoc in our lives. And it creates havoc not only in our spiritual life, but also in our material life. Because each of us gets puffed up with our egos then, thinking, oh yes, I'm God. I'm God. Only today I've not realized that. But one day you will see. So what has happened? By thus covering the glories of the Supreme Lord, the Mayavadi philosophers have done the greatest disservice to human society. So instead of telling us, yes, there is a God and he's the most lovable person and we need to love him. That is our eternal relationship with him. If we are taught, oh, there is no God, and instead anyone and everyone is God, and you are God and I'm God, then it's a greatest disservice to human society. Greatest disservice. It is to counteract these most abominable activities of the Mayavadi philosophers that Lord Chaitanya has introduced the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam Eva Kevalam, Kalau Naste eva nasteva nasteva gatir anyatha. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. So we have to understand that we are not God, but we are lovers of God. We have love of God, and that's what we need to revive. And that can be revived easily in this age of quarrel and hypocrisy by chanting the holy name. And there is no other way to revive this. That's the reason the scriptures, this verse is from the scriptures. It's there in the Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad, is there in many Upanishads. And Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself. So when at each yuga, Krishna says yuga yuga he dharmasya, that at every yuga, Krishna comes to re-establish the principles of religion. So 500 years ago, Krishna came as Lord Chaitanya to give us the religious practice for this age of Kali. That is by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is the process, the Yuga Dharma for this Kali Yuga. People should simply engage in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. For thus, they will gradually come to understand that they are not the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as they have been taught by the Mayavadi philosophers, but are eternal servants of the Lord. So we are being taught everywhere that don't worry, continue thinking you're God. Today you have not realized, but after you get liberation, you will realize that you are God. You are God, you know. But this is a wrong philosophy. We are not God. We can never become God. Only God is God. God is not a post for us to fill in. No, only God is God. Yes, God has many names, but the demigods are also not God. The demigods are also living entities. The demigods are also jivatmas. But only God is God. So now, to understand our position and to understand the position of God, this can be easily done in this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, in this age of Kali Yuga, by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. The more we chant, the more we will understand our position, self-realization. We want self-realization. We need to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. We need to hear about Krishna from the devotees, and then we will get self-realization. As soon as one engages himself in the transcendental service of the Lord, he becomes free. Mam cha yogyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, text 26. He says, one who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. So Krishna is showing us how we can get liberation. He's saying you engage in pure devotional service. Once you engage in pure devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, you will be liberated, transcend the modes of material nature, and thus comes to the level of Brahman, means liberation, being situated on the platform of the soul, not the body. Therefore, the Hare Krishna movement or Krishna consciousness movement is the only light for the foolish living entities who think either that there is no God or that if God exists, he is formless and they themselves are also God. These misconceptions are very dangerous, and the only way to counteract them is to spread the Hare Krishna movement. So we have many misconceptions. We are foolish. Krishna calls us foolish in the Bhagavad Gita. What is our misconception? We think there is no God. Yeah, we think there is no God. Or we think, okay, maybe there is God, but he's not a person. It's just some vague something or some, I don't know, maybe something, maybe whatever. Or we think we are God. Now, these three misconceptions we have, and that's why we are foolish. That's the reason we are here in the material world. Till the time we do not remove these misconceptions from our consciousness, we will continue to be in the material world. So by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, very easily we can understand the truth. Very easily we can give up these false ideas, because these are false ideas. We think we are God, and we believe we are God, but it is false. We are not God. Or another thing is we believe that there is no God. Or another thing we believe is that everyone is God. But when we say everyone is God, means we are just packaging it and saying there is no God. Because God is one without a second. By saying everyone is God, means everyone's equal, means there's no one supreme. Then again, we are just sweetly packaging things. Or or sometimes we think, oh yes, God is there, but he's not a person, God cannot be a person. Now, to get rid of all these misconceptions, we need to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. The more we chant the Hare Krishna mantra, the more we will be able to understand the truth as it is. Is that okay? And the truth is that we are not God, but we are eternal servants of God. Once we begin to understand that, then the doors of liberation are open for us. The doors of the spiritual kingdom are open for us once we begin to understand, I am not God, but I am eternal servant of God. And that is what is surrender. This is surrender, understanding I'm not God. Krishna says, surrender unto me. When we say surrender, means we accept that he is superior than us. That is the meaning of surrender, understanding, oh, God is superior than me. There is someone who's superior than me. God is much superior than me. Then when we begin that, then the doors of liberation are open for us. The path of liberation becomes visible to us. So to do that, we need to continue to hear and chant. Hear from Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Is that okay? So we'll stop here for the day. Thank you so much for listening in and joining in. Caitanya Caritamrita ki jai, Shilpa Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.